Hi everyone, it's Dan again for another update of my model railway. It's been a little while since I've done an update. It's been a long while, in fact, and the reason is I've been making some structural changes, and those of you who recall what the layout looked like on previous updates, you'll see what the change is, and that's that big elevated section there of track. And the reason for that is every time I looked at the layout, I liked the way that we had some height here and we had the height up the back, which that corner there being the original layout, which is 140mm high. Love the idea that this came down and went onto the flat. But this area here just seemed to be too flat, and I couldn't figure out how I was going to make some sort of dynamic town scenes or some, dynamic type of structural shots and things like that. And then one day I had this idea that I'd just sort of build it up and have an upper level there. And actually I think the idea came about because I wanted to try and incorporate a viaduct onto the layout. It's as simple as that. I kept on watching these videos, particularly from you guys in the UK, and also Rob McCrane as well, his layout, and I see these, the viaducts, and I thought, yeah, that'd look great. And then I thought, well, how am I going to use one of those? And I thought, well, I can easily come off the end here, and then I came up with this whole idea of bringing it around. And I think it gives me about another maybe 20 to 22 odd foot of track, and just keeps the trains running in a different area for longer, really, which sort of interested me. I'm not sort of one of those people that does full-on operating sessions or anything like that, although I can see definitely why YouTubers out there do that. I think an operating session is great. It's just not me. I just don't. I'm just not into that side of it. I just like watching the trains go around, and but having some dynamics as to might have one train up here and then one train down there on the same track, another one coming this way. So the more track I can have, the more running space I can have, sort of the better. So yeah, I'm doing some stuff today that I just thought I'd start off with showing you this area here, which is incredibly messy, obviously, and I'm sort of in the midst of things. Then I'll show you some more video later on of how it's coming together. But I just want to show you one spot first before I do an after section. Just wanted to show you how I've done this upper level, actually, and I've sort of cheated a bit. I've seen YouTubers make these, beautiful curved, purposefully built cut-out sections for their upper tracks, which I think is fantastic. But it's just not me. I'd end up cocking it up. So I just thought I'm going to stick with the easy thing. I'm going to work with angles. And so I've just hand sawed off all this MDF, basically. It's just 12mm MDF. But I've just cut it into angles so that I can piece it together like a jigsaw puzzle, and then put these supports underneath. These supports are just, all the supports I've used are just glued with white glue, wood on wood, which is incredibly strong. Obviously that's what the white glue's, was one of its purposes, is designed for. And then I've screwed the sections into the top. It's incredibly stable. And again, just bringing out these, the angled sections and clicking them together basically like a bit of a jigsaw. Yeah, I've got these slight gaps here and everything, but look, that's easy to fix up when you start scenicking. All along to here, and then meeting up with the back section there, and again, cut, an angled section there. What I've also done is cut these angled sections out here. Just created a couple of little supports for them there to sit on. Actually, the reason I did that was to get some access for wires and things like that. I'll actually have this stuck down, but just while I'm working on it, I wanted to get wires through, because I'm going to have a pub set up or some sort of building set up here with car park and whatnot. And I've done the same to here as well. To come out again, support, just two on this one, and click him back into place. Runs flush with the control panel sides here, and a little bit of overhang here, which is fine. And I'll do something with the backs here. I'll paint them blue, or I'm not sure what I'll do on those bits yet. This will end up being a bridge. I'll have probably some Pico girder bridge sides along there, or something of that sort of thing. This area here is left wide because I'm thinking about having either a bike track, walking track, or single lane car, a single lane road along there, all the way up to this area here, which is a jut out section which will have another building on there as well. This will be a station back here, scenic area along here, and you can see that I've already got some wires through. I'll just see if I can go down there and look through there. Wires through there, through the baseboard for the DCC, because I didn't want to compromise that, of course. And while I've got this access, I wanted to get the wires sorted out, and then I've got some there as well. I'll continue those along there. I obviously can't have them here because I've redone the track through here to the engine shed, and I'll have a probably a girder type bridge along there, scenic that down with some mountain area, and that'll open that up nicely. I will move that mending plate because that's directly in the way, and I did say a long time ago that I was going to put a beam underneath. I may still do that, but for the moment I'll just move that mending plate to diagonally across here, and look, any mending plates I can cover up with scenery. Speaking of mending plates, I have had to use a couple along the way just to even things up. Again, they will be covered with scenery, you won't be able to see them. I've tried to be a little bit, or not use too many basically. There's one there, there's also a couple up the back here, 1, 2 and then 3 connecting to the bridge up the back there. The bridge obviously now goes through that mountain there, which was just a solid mountain before because the track came around here, if you recall. But I've now got that track going through the mountain there. It's much better, it's much easier. What am I trying to say? The curves are much better all the way around. I think for a number of different trains it'll be a lot easier running. What I'm also going to do is, before I put this side on, I'm putting this side on, which is going to be brick retaining wall or a portion around here, because what I've done on the edges here, I mean these were obviously cut again square, but I've rounded them off best I could with a jigsaw. It's not a very good job, to be quite honest, but what I'm thinking is when this flexible, I think it's 3mm MDF, is actually attached to the sides, it'll cover up a lot of the rough sections there. You'll still have a couple of gaps in there, but it's nothing bushes and scenery and things like that can't hide. And that's the beauty of modelling, is that you can have these little mistakes or little spots that you don't want people to see, and you can cover them up with scenery. I'll also put some wires along here because I want there to be lights along the station as well. So I'll do that to make sure that I'm all wired up before I start locking in wood that I can't get to, and then we'll be set for future lights and things like that. So I'll come back in a sec and with the magic of video and show you once I've done some more. Hopefully you can hear me over the rain here because I've got some rain on this tin roof, and it's quite loud. I'm just putting in some wires for proposed lights on the layout. Got one here, which will probably be a street light. Probably have a street light, and a building. But look, that may change. I just want to have the lights there because it's going to be impossible to get under there once I've got everything all boarded up. So yeah, thought I'd do that now, and I've got some to go over there, and some holes drilled all the way up there as well for street lights and also station lights, and some building lights up there. So yeah, just got to get the wires in now. Okay, so I have my wires in place as to where I think I'm going to need them, and look, if I don't need the wires in the end, I'll simply just put them at base level and put some scenery over them or whatever, it doesn't matter. But as long as they're here, I'm thinking I'll have, street light, building, street light, and possibly street light or car with headlights or something like that. Anyway, the option's there because I've got the wires there. Also over here, I've got the wires here. I'm thinking building, street light, but look, change again. I've got one here as well because I thought I might have a little track shanty there or something like that, seeing as I've got the base board space. These I had to get done now because I'm just about to put the siding on. Now this wiring here won't be seen. It'll be put flush up against the bottom there, and here will be scenicked off, so you won't see that. But I think that'll look quite effective when I've got the bridge girder sides on, to have a street light here, and possibly a car with headlights here. And then I'll continue on with the street lights along here, So street light there, street light, so on, so on, so on. And I've got a couple of random ones put along there for possibly cars with headlights or something else, anything else. Again, if I don't need them, pop them through the base. I've got one here because I thought, well, why not sort of use this section here that goes down below the base, the bottom baseboard, obviously. And I'm going to have one of those wall street lights up there because I'll have the backdrop going along here and I'll put a wall street light there. I think that might be fairly effective. And I've got the rest of the wires along there. These are the station lights, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, through to up there, where I've got a couple of building lights, and see if I can point them out just there. 1, 2 will be crossing lights. I'll have a road coming from there into this area here, which will have a couple of buildings there, where maybe shops or maybe just one industrial building or something like that. And then I've got, for a little shanty again, or a little building, one up there, and just a little street light up there, something like that. So I've got those in place now. Now what I've got to do is clean up some of this mess, put the sides up, and see what it looks like. Well, it's starting to take a bit of shape now and starting to look like an actual layout, which sounds silly, but you guys out there will sort of know what I mean when you take all the rubbish off and all the bits and pieces off, and you can actually see the track and the structure and all that sort of thing, and you can start visualising what it's going to look like when it's complete. I've just done a little bit of the thin MDF around here. It's done what I wanted it to do, which was make a nice curve. You can see some of my shoddy woodwork behind it, which the curve is covering, and I'll just fix up some of that with, as I said before, some bushes or some you know, even some thin, very thin wood or something like that over the top of it. Then I can scenic over the top of that. I'm not worried about that at all. I think that's going to look quite good when you've got the brick up there, or I'll probably just use the Metcalfe brick, or maybe even some plastic card brick, something like that. And I'll continue that around to here. And I've got all those wires through. I've still got 2 DCC wires still. I'll do one probably there and one about there just before the bridge. And get those put in. Then I've got to put the sides in along here and the short side along here, because that's going to be a run-through section there. That, of course, is going to have a building or a couple of buildings on that. That's going to be a run-through section, sort of like I guess a concrete tunnel area. And also what I've done around here, because I think I mentioned the mending plates before, is I have moved that mending plate, which was under here before, I think it was. I've moved it diagonally there. As I said, I might put a beam underneath there anyway, which will make it so that I don't need that mending plate, but for the moment I'll just keep it there while it's keeping some of the structure. And as I said, I'll have a girder bridge section along here, mountain coming down, and have the girder bridge under there. So yeah, it is starting to take shape, and I will. What I'll do is I'll continue on with this this MDF, this 3mm MDF there. Oh, also what I've done is I've done it just a little bit higher than the actual board there. For a couple of reasons there. The main reason being, if I get a derailment, I don't want the train plunging off onto the bottom area there. That'd be something of a disaster. And the second thing is, I thought it would look quite good if I actually, you know, painted that red or something like that at the back there, made it sort of something of a brick wall. And what I thought was, and this was an idea to actually cover those gaps there, I thought about getting hedging and just running hedging right the way along there. I thought that could be effective, or something like that. Anyway, they're just ideas. And I'll continue with the 3mm MDF across to here, and as I said, the sides along there and the little short section there. And then the next project will be organising the mountain at the back with tunnel portals, etc., and also organising what I'm going to have as the supports for the bridge, because I'll do the same thing there. That's cut in MDF along there, and I'll also put some, bridge girder sections along there, or some balsa wood sides or something like that. So, so I'll continue on with the with the sides and show you what it looks like once I've done that bit.